Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I recently read an article that got me thinking about crowdfunding. It was actually about crowdfunding before crowdfunding existed or was a word. Crowdfunding's been around forever. It didn't start with GoFundMe or Indiegogo or Kickstarter. It's been around for a long time. Anytime that a community sort of all pitches in to either help an individual or help the community or whatever with donations or with effort, with some sort of physical effort. And I recently saw an article on one of my favorite e-zines, and I say e-zines because apparently I grew up before the internet actually existed, called Mental Floss. It's one of my favorites. It was actually a physical magazine at one point. In fact, it still may be, but I read it online and I'm a big subscriber. And there was this article by Emily Petsko about a crowdfunding incident that occurred in the late 1800s. And it's got some pretty famous figures associated with it. And I thought you'd find this story interesting. So, you know about the Statue of Liberty. Every school child learns that the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to the United States. What most school children don't learn is that the Statue of Liberty was shipped over to the United States in pieces and actually sat in a warehouse for a long time before it was erected because we couldn't figure out how to pay for a base, a pedestal on which to put the Statue of Liberty. And the first thing we did as a country is there was a committee formed to build this pedestal on Liberty Island and out in the harbor of New York City, and they asked everybody across the country, "Would you mind contributing to it?" And they're like, "No, we're not going to contribute to it. Of course we mind. It's a New York thing. Let New York take care of it." And then there were cities that said, "Oh, we'll contribute. We'll pay for the whole thing if we can have the Statue of Liberty." Philadelphia said that, and Chicago said that. And it was, it just wasn't going anywhere until a guy by the name of Joseph Pulitzer. He, the last name for a number of reasons. Certainly the most common reason that people know that name is the Pulitzer Prize. But Joseph Pulitzer was a very controversial publisher back in the day. In the late 1800s, he had a number of different newspapers, but in New York City, his lead newspaper was called The World. And The World was kind of like today's New York Post. He actually invented, Joseph Pulitzer may have his name on a very, very respectable prize. Everybody wants to get the Pulitzer Prize. But he actually created something called yellow journalism, which was very bold and brash and filled with invective and poked and prodded. It wasn't staid like the New York Times. It was big, bold headlines and inflammatory writing and all that sort of thing. Many people associate that with William Randolph Hearst, but Joseph Pulitzer was the one that created it. So the one thing that he did in regard to this, the Statue of Liberty that was really good is he said, no, we need to have the Statue of Liberty here in New York City. It's a New York responsibility. So let's do it. And here's what I'm going to do. If you contribute anything, a dime, a dollar, $5, $10, they needed about $250,000, which I some god-awful number of millions, today, in today's money. But they needed $250,000 to build the pedestal or the base on which the Statue of Liberty would be, built up. Any amount of money, you contribute any amount of money, New Yorkers, and I will put your name in the newspaper, and you'll get a certificate of commemoration and appreciation. And he had so much power, and he had so many readers that it worked. Unlike asking the entire government, or the entire population across the country to contribute to something that would, in their eyes, mostly benefit New York City, even though we know today that the Statue of Liberty is a worldwide symbol of freedom. and benefits not just New York City, but the entire country. New Yorkers got together and they donated their pennies and their dollars and their tens and hundreds of dollars. This was before a time, and this is according to the article by Emily Petsko, this was before a time that wealthy people gave away their money. You know, this was the age before philanthropy was big, which began with Andrew Carnegie mostly, and Rockefeller. They realized that spending some of their money on the less fortunate got their name on things. Carnegie Library, Carnegie Mellon University, Rockefeller Center in New York City. So the idea that everyone could come together and they could give a little bit here, a little bit there, and get all the money that they needed happened because of this really popular newspaper and Joseph Pulitzer, who was the publisher who kind of pushed this thing. And they got all the money together and they built the base for the Statue of Liberty. And now we have the Statue of Liberty because of this very early instance of crowdfunding. I love stories like this. I really do. And I love crowdfunding too. I mean, we use crowdfunding to help produce the version of Rehearsal that became Rehearsal Pro. We used Indiegogo, and we were funded within a few days, which was awesome. And we actually delivered, which doesn't always happen when you have crowdfunding projects. They delivered, obviously. They got the base built and the pedestal built. Do you support crowdfunded projects? Do you ever look at Indiegogo or Kickstarter? Do you have anything that you're particularly proud of that I mean, I have stuff all over my condo that I have helped fund in one way or another. I probably funded, small amounts, $50, whatever. I probably funded 30 or 40 projects. Sometimes they deliver, sometimes they don't. And so I wonder what your thoughts are. If you're watching this on VOtoGoGo.com, give me a comment below the video. Let me know what it is that you think about crowdfunding and crowdsourcing and things like that. If you're not watching it on VOtoGoGo, if you're not watching this particular video on VOtoGoGo, know that there's a whole bunch of really good stuff over at VOtoGoGo.com. We'd love to have you over there. And this video is one of the 365 videos in the challenge this year, one a day, and I so appreciate you watching. If you'd like to subscribe for my YouTube channel, go ahead and click on my head. If there's no head there, look for a subscribe button somewhere below this video. And if you'd like to see the latest version of the video, the latest episode, go ahead and click on that frame and YouTube will play it for you. I'm David H. Lawrence, the 17th. I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.